I'm so glad you're with us. This is a special week. I have been collecting interviews and having some deep conversations, some deep dives. And today is Throwback Thursday, and we have got William Lee Golden and Jack Tempchin. It is 40 years since Peaceful, Easy Feeling. The Eagles are selling out, and our very own Chris Kulik and his lovely Carrie went to see the Eagles in Knoxville. 3 hours, like 3.5 hours or something. They played hit after hit after hit after hit. Fantastic. But I was just talking about Peaceful Easy Feeling. We're talking about how JD Oliver from the Smokehouse, he and Marla Sitton were in town, and we were talking about what made Tan so popular is I like the way your sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown. That line for Peaceful Easy Feeling, it's a big deal about where the song came from. And we got to sit down. I got to sit down with William Lee Golden and Jack Tempchin, who wrote the song. And he wrote the song. And I mean, I don't even think he had a clue then what it was going to mean to him for the rest of his life. But before we do that, we're going to bring some sponsors on so we don't have to interrupt the flow. First off, we're going to talk to our friends over at Mid-South Exteriors, doing fantastic stuff. My friend Brenda Fielder, I recommend them. If you're going to call anybody to take a look at replacement windows or your siding, and you want something maybe to update it, maybe you want some hardy board and kind of look cool like they do in Southern Living magazine, she's the one you call. Just give them a call, Mid-South Exteriors. And of course, the Nashville Zoo, the Nashville Predators have got season tickets and single-use tickets if you want to go to see the Nashville Predators or the Nashville Sounds. Stick around.
Hi, I'm Brenda Fielder. At Mid-South Exteriors, our custom sunrooms bring the sunshine in without all the heat and the bugs. And they keep you warm all winter while you enjoy the outdoors all year round. They add real value because we build them like your house to match your house. Or let us save you energy by replacing your windows and old siding. And because we have no retail overhead, we come to you and sell direct to you for less. Call us at 833-8003 or visit us at MidSouthExteriors.com.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
Hey there. Welcome in. I'm so glad to see you, William Lee Golden. I got to ask you, did you take the picture that's behind you?
No, yes, I did. That's on the Grand Canyon. It's the edge of the Grand Canyon, and there's a big rave in there. So,
well, it's a perfect backdrop for Peaceful Easy Feeling, the song we are celebrating today. 50 years young, this song, and it's an incredible celebration of music. That the immortality of a song that can be written in 1972 and released and then come back to life and recorded in 22. Jack Tempchin, who wrote this song, joins us on this conversation. Hi, Jack.
Hi, it's great to be here with you guys.
William Lee, I'm going to ask you first, William. when you were picking out songs to record for this beautiful collection of favorite songs, and you were almost, did I hear right? You were finished and you had not recorded Peaceful Easy Feeling yet.
That's right. Pardon me. That's right. We had recorded 32 songs at that time. We did this during the pandemic, and it's we were all sitting home, told to, to go home, lock the doors, put on 2 masks, and if anybody knocks on the door, crawl under the bed. So we was watching the news to see what's going on, and 2 or 3 weeks of watching all the negative hate on television, I had to turn that crap off. And so I called my family together, my sons, and we started playing old songs here around the piano and using acoustic instruments and singing these old songs and finding comfort in songs that brought us to the table, songs that had inspired us in life. And what I did is I took my sons, back to the old songs that I first started singing. And the old songs when I was singing as a little kid, my sister taught me how to play rhythm guitar and sing harmonies, and she played mandolin. But yeah, I took my kids back to the old songs that I first started learning as a little kid that brought me forward. And we sang songs that to me, I started it out taking them back to old gospel stuff as a little kid that I was learning. And then we did it into old classic country songs that I heard and sang as a little kid. And then we evolved into more of a country rock album. And it was during that we sang all these songs. And it was after we had finished that segment of it, Kenny Panzer, it's Jeff Panzer's brother. Jeff is a famous video director and producer. He was for Universal Records and with the top hip hop names in the world. So he's had over 1 billion views with his videos. But Kenny told Jeff, said, man, there's, I've heard what you've got here, but it's missing something. And he pitched us, he said, man, if you could do Peaceful Easy Feeling, he said, y'all need to do that. With the harmonies y'all have, you could do it right. And he could hear my son Chris singing the lead on it. And so we got to talking, and we decided to go back in the studio. And since we were there, we had all the musicians together. We laid down Peaceful Easy Feeling, and we laid down Take It Easy, 2 Eagle songs. We didn't have any Eagle songs on the project at that point. And the Eagles' music, for me and for my family, their music transcended generations, I mean, it would be one generation as me and my kids, and now my grandkids. So they all love that music. So that's what great songs is, and great music. And Peaceful Easy Feeling is a song that I remember before I even thought about recording it. The Oak Ridge Boys were in New York, and we were doing some press stuff up there, and we were doing Imus in the Morning one morning, and so was on there, and he asked about some of my favorite songs, and y'all are country, and I told him, I said, Peaceful Easy Feeling is one of my all-time favorites, and I said, Take It Easy. I said, those are 2, and I said, the Eagles, they brought country and rock together at a time it really needed it. They're an American band, and they brought country music and rock music together and melded it. And Jack was his song there, and I know he's written 5 of the Eagles songs. It's
Hmm.
so,
Well,
and the Eagles are the second selling group in the whole world of all time.
it's just brilliant. And to think about them in 1972, Jack, I want to get your take on this song and how this song came about. Here you are. Where were you living? And what was your lifestyle when you were creating these songs? Was Glenn Fry just a friend of yours?
I don't believe I knew Glenn yet. I grew up in San Diego, and I had a gig out in El Centro, which
Mhm.
is about a couple hours out toward the desert. And I was played in a coffee house and made a date with the waitress. He was going to come back and get me later and take me to her place, and she never showed up. So ended up spending the night in the coffee house on the floor. Uh, and I just started writing the song, And in those days, my friend said, "Hey, there's hundreds of dollars to be made in this folk music." Because at that time, there was no money, before the big wave of rock and roll, there's no money. And I never expected that, or none of us ever thought about that. So I wrote the song, and then a few years later, I met Glenn Fry and J.D. Souther. And then Glenn went on a few years after that to create the Eagles. And it's just the strangest thing, because the song, of course, goes out, gets a life of its own, goes all over the world. 50 years later, it's still
Okay.
out there.
Everyone knows the earring line. Everyone knows, "I like the way your sparkling earring lays against your skin so brown." That was a real moment. You actually saw an earring and that did that, right?
Yeah, so I started the song in El Centro. I came back to San Diego, and there was a street fair, and I was walking around, and I saw this beautiful girl with these turquoise earrings, and bam, I put her in the song. And then there was the third verse I wrote at a place in San Diego called the Der Wiener Schnitzel. I think they're still there. They're now called Wiener Schnitzel. They're a hot dog place, franchise. And I was sitting there, and I saw some other girls go by, and I wrote the third verse. So there's quite a few girls in the song.
Okay, the idea that this song got finished in a Wiener Schnitzel, that's a great part of the story.
Yeah. And then about the 40th anniversary of the song, San Diego made a Peaceful Easy Feeling Day, and they had a celebration, and the Der Wiener Schnitzel people presented me with a solid gold wiener, as,
Wow.
which I had in my studio. But
And that's just brilliant. That's brilliant. Well, when did you hear William Lee Golden and the Goldens' version of the song, and what prompted you to reach out?
yeah, I mean, I know I saw, Google reports any Peaceful Easy Feeling thing, and I clicked on, and there they were. And the Oak Ridge Boys, I don't know, I was at some event in Nashville, and the Oak Ridge Boys just kind of came in for a minute and all got on stage and played, and they're just so incredible, So then I just reached out and thanked him for doing the song, and he got back to me, which was great. And I've listened to that album of 34 songs. It's so amazing. I mean, he's got stuff like "You Are My Sunshine," and all these things, and the harmonies. I just love it. So I'm absolutely thrilled 50 years later to have you record it.
William
Yeah.
Lee, when you have a song that, like you said, it's your word, and I love it. It trans generations. You take this song and you did, and it sounds just as brand new today as it did in 1972.
It does, and to bring guys that can play that music and to keep the song to what it needed to be, because it's a classic song of all time, and it's that type music itself and the songs and the words that touched our lives, and that's what we did during the pandemic. Was we found healing mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritual healing, and going back to songs that inspired us in life that were essential and bringing us to this point in life. And so that's what I wanted to do personally. And I brought my sons into that and invited them to do the same thing. And we harmonized together. I got them to harmonize with me, and I would harmonize with them. We brought Aaron McCune in to fill out the fourth part of the harmony down there, and he's a young kid that's just incredible.
That nice rich bass he brings in. Yeah, it's amazing.
He's the best one alive today that I've heard. So yes, he is.
Jack, whenever you were writing the song, did you have any of this idea that it could also not just be used to commemorate all the beautiful women walking by, but give people this peaceful, easy feeling? What did the idea of peaceful, easy feeling come about when you were writing this?
Well, when I was stranded in the club, my friend had written, he created a poster to advertise me, and it quoted all these different people, Joni Mitchell, a real man, stuff, and he made it all up. But on the other side of this poster, I started writing for this song, and I just wrote a bunch of junk. And then all of a sudden I wrote Peaceful Easy Feeling, the phrase, and that became the song. But at the time, I said, this song is not a traditional love song. It doesn't really have a chorus about the girl. And I didn't think it had any chance of being a commercial song in any way. So how wrong could I be? But I guess people just responded, excuse me, they just responded to that phrase, and it touches everybody and means something, because it's kind of, we're all seeking some kind of peace of mind from moment to moment in life,
Well, interestingly enough, William Lee Golden, you picked up on the peaceful, easy feeling. Of all the times we need that, it's coming out of what we just came out of, right?
It is, man. And with the world way it is today, it's like, again, negative news is, it's negative, period. And it don't stimulate me. It actually has an opposite effect. So sometimes I have to stay away from that. And but yeah, music again has a healing power, and it with peaceful, easy feeling, it has a long-lasting power. And again, with all the crap going on it throughout the world today, I think it's better to have we can't forget our individuality and where we're coming from. We all got feelings. We've all been in love, hopefully, at some time, and we all have felt rejection. We've seen times like that here that Jack is describing, when he's locked into the club to spend the night because waiting on the girl that was supposed to come back. So she didn't come. There's things in his mind he had to get out, and it took him 3 different settings to put it all together. And I think it's a remarkable story, how it all come together, and then how it all fits together as a song and tells the story.
It really does tell a story. And it was remarkable to look at the chart position, and the song was, I think the highest it went was number 22 on the charts. But when I saw the Kennedy Center honors of the Eagles, every member of the audience was singing every single word. And to me, you can't measure a hit by the chart position, but in the heart position. And you guys have encapsulated it perfectly. How does that make you feel that this song has this kind of life, Jack?
It's just unbelievable. It's kind of like if you have a child and they grow up and they become the president, it's not you, it's just something, I guess when the girl didn't show up, the guy just accepts that and says, you know what, I'm okay anyway. And that's the whole thing in life, that you trying to, I'm okay anyway. And somehow that resounds and goes through the world, and it's on its own. The song went out, it's got its own life, and it's a songwriter's dream, but yet, I don't feel it's really me anymore. It just went out there. It's wonderful.
It was
love those
divinely
versions
appointed for a time such as this. And William Lee Golden, thank you for picking this song, because we all need that peaceful, easy feeling. And it is going to be all right anyway, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I love singing the harmony to this song too. I mean, it's I get to sing with Chris on it. We get to duet a little bit on it, and then we spread it out and bring the other guys in. It was overwhelming for us to get to sing it in the studio and then be there, and so that was part of the 34 songs. This was the icing on the cake for the whole project. Was peaceful, easy feeling that brought it all, and that was what Kenny Panzer actually. He said that he was the one that said this song needs to be on there, and this would help make the record whole to what it should be, and tying all those generations together too. That's what he mentioned, that this ties the multi-generations together. It's a song that still is good today as it was yesterday and 50 years ago.
It truly is. It's the icing on the cake for us, for sure. And I have to ask you, you've gotten to play this live. What does it feel like when you get to this song that everybody knows every word to, and they start singing it back to you? Does that happen?
They do. They sing along with it on the choruses. And so it's what we've been doing. In fact, we were rehearsing that this afternoon here, but we rehearsed for 2.5 hours this afternoon, and had the band in. It's because we're leaving tomorrow night, getting on a bus and going to Ohio for 2 shows this weekend. Wow. And also having to go out with the Oak Ridge Boys.
And thank you for bringing us all these great songs. And Jack, thank you for writing this song and following through, because some people walk around with a verse and a chorus for the entirety of their lives and don't ever finish. Thank you for finishing this song.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure to meet you both. Incredible. Thank you.
Well, God bless you both, and have a great rest of your day, and blessings on the song as it goes out and gives us all a good, warm feeling in our heart.
All right.
Thank you, Devin O'Day. We love you.
Love you back.
Thank you, Jack.
Thanks. Incredible to meet you, sir.
We'll get together again.
Healing from substance abuse can be a lonely journey, but you don't have to do it all on your own. At Brooks Healing Center, you matter. We're here to lend you love, support, and acceptance on your journey to find yourself again. With medical detox, residential, and partial hospitalization program levels of care, we help you overcome addiction, trauma, and adverse childhood experiences through personalized healing journeys. Our seasoned team of heart-centered staff is here for you with support, compassion, and hope. At Brooks Healing Center, we'll love you until you fall in love with everything you are.
We're here with Chef Chris McCorkle from Black Diamond Culinary. What is Black Diamond Culinary?
So Black Diamond Culinary got created about 6 years ago from an inspiration of Chef Bob Wagner in Charleston, South Carolina. He worked with my former husband, Jean-Claude, at the Wild Boar Restaurant. If anybody knows the Wild Boar Restaurant in Nashville, it was a totally fabulous restaurant. And Bob moved to Charleston, and he did a few other things, but got tired of being on the road, and he created In the Kitchen with Bob. So my daughter got me hooked on Instagram, and of course, what do? You start looking up people. I ran across Bob, said, what is he doing? Made a trip to Charleston, came back, told my husband, this is what I want to do, teach cooking classes here in Franklin, Tennessee.
So you have people come in and learn as a corporate event?
So we do corporate events, we do private cooking lessons, we do bachelorette parties, we do couples nights, we do just guys nights, girls nights, and we teach several different kind of cooking classes, whatever your desire is to learn.
Do you ever do private dinners?
We do private dinners, and a lot of times when I do a private dinner, I'm doing most of the cooking. Everybody's just drinking and having fun.
No. Thank you. One last time. My family thought I was off my rocker. I remember my brothers called an intervention. They said, "What is your major malfunction, little brother?" I wondered if they were right. But I had to admit to myself, I couldn't waver from my decision. Why? I had to find out.
Can you guys believe they're doing that? Matthew McConaughey. I read a story about him this week. He and his wife, Camilla, who also is just a rock star in her own right. She follow her on all her social media. Because she's fantastic. But the two of them were flying from Germany, and they hit some turbulence, and the plane dropped 4,000 feet, like instantly. And he didn't have a seatbelt on. The only thing he said that kept him from flying up and hitting his head above him was that he had the tray table down. He said otherwise it would have been a different story. A lot of people got injured and hurt. That's why they say keep your seatbelts fastened while you're flying, because of turbulence and things like that. And so they're okay and they're fine. The plane ended up having to make an emergency landing in Washington, D.C. Oh, so scary. But I signed up for his free event on the 24th of April. You can too. And even if you want to do the upgrade and do the private meeting on Zoom with him, it's only like $47, and it feeds hungry kids by charity. So very cool thing. Check it out, that event. And you can just do a little quick rewind after this show and you'll see where it is. Or Matthew McConaughey live event. It'll show up too. Thank you guys. Be safe, be kind, and remember, most of all, you are loved.
We are home. We are family.